Hey guys, what is up? It's Justy here, and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto News. And today has been a rough day for Bitcoin. I mean, we've seen Bitcoin hit $34,000 today, and so I really think we're due a little bit of an update on the market as a whole, what I think is happening, what I think is going to happen in the near future, and just all the crypto news, all the most important things that I think I should share with you guys. So stick around for this video, as I definitely think you guys will enjoy it. But there's also a very juicy giveaway. Because yes guys, for all of you that have been living under a rock and have not seen my videos for the last couple of weeks, I guess, we're doing a 2500 XRP giveaway, and the winner is going to be picked in 5 days. All you have to do is make sure you press the like button, make sure you are subscribed, and make sure you comment something down below or go through any one of the means right here. There's going to be a link down below if you want to enter. Make sure you check them all out. You can do as many as you want. It's very simple, and I just made it this way so everybody has a chance to enter in a very simple manner. And let's quickly give a little rundown. Bitcoin at $34,000 right now, down about 4% over the day, 1% on the hour. I wouldn't really look too much at the hourly, because if you're a little bit late watching this video, it's not relevant anymore. The daily, it usually doesn't change that much in this little time frame. Ethereum down 3.3%, and I would say the general idea is that the market is down 2.3%, and that's again the average, and so we don't have to look too far into it. There's no real crazy tokens, at least in the top here. Tron, as I described before to you guys, has been having a couple of really crazy announcements, specifically, in my own opinion, with the, I guess, with the DAO backers. A couple of the names in there, at least the first name we heard, was a pretty big one, with FTX, of course, and with USDD, their new stablecoin that they're going for, the algorithmic stablecoin. They're doing a pretty good job, which is why I obviously think the price is going up. Near, we've actually had a couple of juicy pieces of news for as well. If you do not remember, Near had a couple of really juicy news pieces over the last couple of weeks, one of them being the USN stablecoin going live over on there. But there's actually been quite a lot of different pieces that I've covered throughout the last couple of weeks, and I honestly think that in times of real scaredness in the markets, fear, that's the word I was looking for, that's where we're seeing these cryptos that are attached to these algorithmic stablecoins or these newer stablecoins do better. And again, Luna is one of the only ones that's not doing that right now, but I think that's due to the process, and something I'll talk about in just a second. Because take a look at this. Terra UST depegs after a massive $285 million dump of the stablecoin on Curve Finance and Binance. I quickly must say again, if you guys do not know, Terra Luna and the Terra USD are connected, and so if something happens to either, usually it affects the other, at least to some degree. And right now we saw a massive $300 million dump of the stablecoin, which kind of puts some root in the food. Okay, that's a Dutch saying. I'm not sure if it actually works in English that way. Terra's UST is depegged from the $1 mark after a massive selling of the stablecoin on Curve Finance and Binance. The selling was to the tune of $285 million in UST and resulted in a $2.25 billion outflow of the stablecoin from Anchor Protocol. UST has since stabilized to the 99.6 cent price level, and Dogecoin has expressed optimism that UST will remain resilient despite the event. What he's basically said is, okay, this was an event, we are looking at it a little bit like, oh, okay, but it's actually at the end of the world, 99.6% stable in that sense. I don't think it's a bad thing, specifically this heavy of a move in terms of, $300 million. That's not something you don't, that you see every day. A counter argument is, what if one heavy attacker were to do this with a couple $1 billion, if they really, really wanted to mess the entire crypto space up? Could it then just put everything out? That's a good question to ask, and I don't honestly have the answer for you. It said here, today's attack on Terra Luna UST was deliberate and coordinated, massive $285 million UST dump on Curve and Binance by a single player, followed by a massive shorts on Luna and hundreds of Twitter posts. That's, however, where I'm thinking again. If by the way, if you're not understanding what I just said, Luna and Terra are connected. But it's also something I described to you guys before, this phenomena of any government being able to basically destroy Bitcoin if they are to allocate enough money, which they will most likely make a lot of money on. How? Well, think about it like this, and I'm going to go for the other little, yeah, there we go. This is better, I think. Think about it like this. if a government has a couple $1 trillion, or let's say a lot of billions of dollars, right? If they were to actually really go on a heavy attack on Bitcoin with a lot of money, or actually go for a crazy amount of mining power, either would, I guess, work. You might say, oh, but that's way too much money to take Bitcoin down, or to overtake the network, or do anything by dumping the price so significantly. You got to realize that if they dump the price so significantly with heavy shorts open, or if they take over the network with heavy shorts open, there's a good chance they're going to really basically take everything out of the market. They're going to take all the juicy money from all the people that are going long. Because remember, even right now, in such a small little move for the markets, I'm going to show it to you guys if I can right here. Not sure this is going to work the best way. Maybe I can better do it like this. Yeah, so you guys can see it properly. We had some crazy amount of liquidations over the last 24 hours, about $300 million worth. I'm going to be honest, it's not too crazy. I mean, there's been days where we've had a significant amount more, but for the last couple of months here, it's actually been looking quite good. It's not been too severe. If you're, by the way, looking for a platform to trade on. I mean, liquidations don't sound that nice, specifically because it can have a double meaning. And so maybe if YouTube keeps hearing me read out the words, they're like, why is this guy talking about all these dead people or something like that? And now that I said those words, maybe they're going to connect it even quicker. But yeah, it is what it is. But if you're looking for a platform to trade, I'm just going to quickly shout it out. There's also a link for Bybit down below. That's the exchange I use to trade personally. I did not get liquidated today, which I guess is good on both fronts. Yeah. Yeah, little disclaimer. But yeah, Bybit is still the platform I use primarily for trading. And I mean, I guess at one point I'm going to get liquidated again. It's going to happen eventually. But today is not that day. So I guess that makes me happy, right? It's another good day. So talking about exchanges, to kind of go on with the drift, there's this exchange, CoinDCX. And apparently this is one wave I've seen over on Twitter, a significant amount. I've been reading up on this, and it's really interesting to me to watch this. A lot of exchanges over in India are planning right now to move over to places like Dubai. You guys all know I live in Dubai primarily, and we're seeing a crazy amount of influx of these newer companies, specifically cryptos. But that's also my sector, right? So I don't really watch that many other sectors. And the reason they do that is because it's a lot easier to work with the regulators here rather than in, I think, countries like India, because they don't really want that crypto stuff. It's a little bit too risky. And Dubai, they're really open towards it. They want to emancipate. They want to work on it. They want to see. They want to hear. They want to get the feedback and try some stuff out. But there's something which I also described in the Ripple lawsuit debacle, where a lot of these companies would rather stick to their own country if they could, and only as a last resort would they leave, basically, and go for a easy jurisdiction. And that's, I guess, one of the key parts that needs to change in the crypto space as well, I think, right? Of these countries realizing that they're letting go so much tax money, that's one thing, but also so much growth from inside their country by letting this technology be developed in other countries. A good example is China and the US. China banned crypto altogether. US is kind of being a little bit butthurt about crypto. If they were to really with open arms accept it, oh, a little lag, but it's okay. I honestly think the U.S. would do so well in this second, third, whatever wave of I guess, business that you want to call it, where the U.S. has been on top for a little while here, right? With I guess, economic status. It's been on top for a little while. China's been doing really, really well. I think by the U.S. letting go of this crypto, a couple of countries that are picking it up, like Dubai here, or I guess it's the UAE, they're really going to thrive on this one. And the fact that China is also standing by, that could mean or give Russia a really good position in that sense as well, I honestly think. But hopefully you guys get my drift in that. This specific exchange is not ready to give it up just quite yet, even though apparently they've gotten a huge new tax problem. Not sure why. I don't want to judge. I can understand 1,001 reasons as to why you would or why you wouldn't go for it. But you might just want to stay true to your roots, even though it's a lot more taxing, a lot more difficult. So yeah, having said that, on a little bit of a lighter note, I think this was kind of a funny article. Jeff Bezos now follows the Dogecoin co-founder on Twitter. It means a lot for Doge. Yes and no. The reason I say yes is because this could mean something is popping up. It could theoretically speaking be that Elon has really gotten bigger plans for for Twitter with Doge inside of it, and so they kind of spoke with Jeff Bezos to kind of get something going in that sense as well. The fact that Jeff Bezos is still using Twitter is already saying something, I guess, after all those Elon Musk announcements. They were kind of rivals in a couple of ways, which is really funny to see. I mean, for the number one wealthiest man in the world, but also for the rocket stuff. Then again, the Dogecoin army is going crazy on this, because what if Dogecoin is coming to Amazon? What if something like that were to happen? You got to realize as well what the consequences of that would be. I described to you guys what would most likely spike crypto to the moon. It's like an Apple integration or something along those lines. But Amazon going for it like fully, I'm not sure if they were to do it silently, if it would actually have the biggest effect. Because even though you might be able to use crypto on Amazon, I think it's mostly the idea that they said yes towards it that's big, not the actual fact you can spend the money. You guys might say, no, Dusty, please. When I say this stuff, I'm pretty serious about it. Utilizing crypto is actually very simple, because you can almost always find a provider that will be able to take this crypto, send it to, and send it to basically, take this crypto, change it to UST or USDT, whatever, US dollars, euro, on the side that's receiving it internally, basically. They can do a quick exchange if they want to, for example. We, to get crypto to massive adoption, don't need the receiving party to actually want to keep the crypto. In theory, I think it's the best if this individual that's receiving the money can, in any transaction, always choose whatever way they like to receive it at. And I think that's eventually going to be coming as well. So Amazon accepting crypto, saying, yeah, please. It's big in the sense that they're saying yes towards it, not in terms of utility, because how many people would actually use it? You might say, oh, a lot. Well, if you really want to, you can use crypto for any purchase on Amazon right now as well, just through any crypto card company. So the only thing that changes then is compliance, maybe, or maybe if it's not accepted in your country just quite yet, but that is still due anytime soon anyway, except for the compliance thing. But that's, again, if you're maybe like a scammer, or there might be a couple reasons as to why it's, something else that I'm forgetting here. But you guys get my drift, right? If you really want to spend crypto already on Amazon, it's possible. But that could be huge for Doge. All right, and if we're still on the topic of things being huge, and we're not going to talk about my body, Ripple's XRP projected to surpass 255 by December 2022 following SEC lawsuit outcome. I think this was a rather, a little laggy again. You see, guys, I told you all, extremely inconvenient. I think the date on this title is a little strange. What I mean is, I honestly am not 100% sure when I would think that the Ripple XRP case would finish, but if I had to put up a date, I would kind of stick close to what James Fillon and whatnot have told. So I think it would most likely be around March or so of next year. Do I want that? Not necessarily, but do I have any choice in the matter? Not really. All I can do is report on the information that lawyers have been giving us, right? And we can interpret ourselves. I have a small update on the lawsuit and the way in which things are going right now. I'll put that in a different video to kind of stay on topic here, stay a little bit more relevant. $2.55 though is I think the thing I have the most problem with. If we're putting December 2022 here, right? Then we're talking about one specific outcome, maybe from summary judgment or so. Because if we're talking 255, I personally don't think that could be like an end XRP price, as I honestly believe that unless the market crashes even more severe than it already has, and again, we're in a pretty rough market already. A lot of coins have dumped like 60, 70, 80% already. We're in a rough spot right now. If the entire crypto market crashes, then okay. But in any other scenario, I don't think that the 255 is warranted, mostly because it's like a 5x or so. And I honestly told you guys before as well, from the 10-cent levels, which we got to 17 cents or so levels that we got to, I still think it'd be 100x, which put us at $17. So in a couple of years, right now, I think at the time I said 50x in like surrounding the lawsuit, so to speak. And I still kind of stick with that prediction. So like an $8.50 or so, if the lawsuit resolves in a nicer market and the enthusiasm for crypto is now faded away for some, I would say, strange reason at that point. You never know. And with you never know, I mostly mean you never know if at that point, for example, there's going to be some crazy FUD over on crypto. There's going to be some really crazy sentiment or some really heavy announcements coming in from the US, and that type of stuff might definitely mess up the price a little bit. That could definitely, tighten it up a little bit more. But if everything works in the way in which we expect it to. I just think 255 is way too low. It's a 5x or so from the prices which we're at right now, which seems like a lot of money, and it is pretty good, but it's not even all-time high. Whilst at Ethereum, Bitcoin, everything like that hit triple the all-time high that it hit back in 2017-18. And so from that perspective, I honestly believe that as a base layer, purely to get on par with Ethereum, Bitcoin again, which I think it should, and if the lawsuit hadn't been there, I think it would have, it has to go to like all-time high and kind of like triple. But the fact that it's the only and the first properly regulated crypto in the US should add a real big multiplier to it. The fact that XP couldn't get taken down is, add some loyalty and respect points, and I could kind of go on that route a little bit, right? The fact that now they can get a huge amount of extra partnerships going on, a huge amount of exchanges can list it, a huge amount of institutional investors can finally start buying it because, again, they were kind of waiting for these institutional, how do I say that properly? Yeah, for the institutions waiting for this clarity where, again, the law has now decided that it's good enough. You guys get my drift. So that is, in my opinion, just to kind of end off the video here, in my opinion, why the article is a little bit wrong, and you guys kind of also get my, I guess, thoughts on the matter. All right, guys, you know what? It is crazy late at night. I'm gonna end the video off here. Gonna leave you guys with the note of you thinking about it yourself, right? You think about what you think the price could get to, and let me know in the comment section down below. And I have a second question about music. Sometimes I think, should I add some really simple sort of like very simple background music to the videos? Would you guys prefer that? I've tried it a couple of times in the past and people did not seem to like it, but every couple of months, I guess, or every couple of years by now, I need to ask and see what people are up to, because now, of course, I also have a face cam, so that might change things. But yeah, that was it for today's video, guys. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you press the like button and subscribe. We have a lot of more crypto news to cover, but I think this is good for one episode for right now, as we're already over our time. So yeah, that was it. See you guys later.